day today. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please take over the call now. Krishna,
Yeah.
Krishna.
I
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
think
Dhamma.
I think we got disconnected somehow. Okay. Okay. So as requested, today we'll be glorifying Lord Varahadev because the appearance of Lord Varahadev is, I think, it's in US today, and tomorrow it is going to be observed in India. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with verse number from third canto, 13th chapter and 17th verse. We'll share on the screen also. Okay. सुजितो मे क्षितिर्वार्भि प्लाव्यमाना रसां गता तत्र किम् अनुस्थेयम् अस्माभिः सर्गयोजिते स्याहं हृदयाद् आसं स ईशो विदधातु मे. Synonyms: Srijita, while engaged in creation, may of me, Shiti, the earth, Varbhi, by the water, Plavyamana, being inundated, Rasam, depth of water, Gata, gone down, Atha, therefore, Atra, in this matter, Kim, what, Anustheyam, is right to be attempted, Asmabi, by us, Sarga, creation, Yojite, engaged in, Yasya, the one from whose, Aham, I, Hridayat, from the heart, Asam, born, Sa, he, Isha, the Lord. Vidadatu, may direct me and may unto me. Translation: Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down in the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties. But they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. Iti abhidhyayato nasha vivarat sahasanaga varaha toka niragad angushta parimanaka. Iti, thus, abhidhyayata, while thinking, nasa vivarat, from the nostrils, sahasa, all of a sudden, another, O sinless one, varaha toka, a minute form of, a minute form of, sorry, a minute form of varaha, a boar, niragat, came out, angusta, the upper portion of the thumb, parimanaka, of the measurement. Translation: O sinless Vidur, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of the thumb. Text 19. तस्यापि पश्यत खस्त क्षणेन किल भारत गजमात्र प्रववृद्धे तद अद्भुतम अभुन्महत्. Tasya, his abhi pashyate, while thus observing khasta, situated in the sky, shanena, suddenly, kila, very verily, Bharat, over descent of Bharat, Gajamatra, just like an elephant, Pravar, Pravar Vridhe, thoroughly expanded, that Adbhutam, extraordinary, Abhut, transformed Mahat into a gigantic body. Or descendant of Bharat, while Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. ओम ज्ञानतिवन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जलशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. All right. So Vara Dvadashi Mahamatsav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right. So I wanted to share some insights on the appearance of Lord Varahadev, and later on then I will recite the pastime also. Now the Srimad Bhagavatam actually describes the appearance of Lord Varaha uh, in two forms. One is the white one and another is the red one. So what the Bhagavatam does, because the Bhagavatam does not follow any chronological sequence, it's spoken from the ecstasy of Sukadeva Goswami. So the Bhagavatam kind of, it combines both the pastimes together. It amalgamates both of them into one single pastime. So it feels that there is some confusion regarding the color complexion of Lord Vara and the service that he is also doing. It also makes a bit difficult to understand unless and until we again understand through the eyes of the previous acharyas. So our acharyas, they are the one who reveals the truth about the identities of the two Lord Varaha. So Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam 3rd canto 13th chapter, the same chapter, the 31st verse, Prabhupada in the purport mentions that according to the Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literature describing the incarnation of Lord Varahadev in two different devastations, namely the Chakshusha devastation and the Swayambhuva devastation. This particular appearance of the boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhuva Manu period, when all planets other than the higher ones, Janalok, Kumaralok, Tapalok, and Satya, they were merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of the boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur, he suggests that the Maitreya, sage Maitreya, he amalgamated the both incarnations in different demonstrations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. So both, now one is appearing at the time of Swayambhuva Manu, another is appearing at the time of Chakshusha Manu. So there is a difference of 5 Manvantars in between. Swayambhuva, we know there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, and Chakshusha Manu is the middle one. So Vaivastha Manu is the middle one, in which currently we are living. And Krishna also appeared, Lord Ram also appeared in the same Vaivastha Manvantar. But Prior to that, 6 Manvantars have appeared. This story connects us to Swayambhuva Manu, especially this one, which I narrated from the third canto. This is actually pastime of the during the time of Swayambhuva Manu's reign, and the one Chakshusha Manvantar that will narrate soon. So there was a lot of difference. Okay, there's a lot of difference in time period. Swayambhu to Chakshusha Manvantar, and as you are aware that one Manvantar period is equal to 71 Divya Yugas. So one Divya Yuga equals Satyug plus Trita plus Dwapar plus Kalyug, and then you multiply by 71 times. That is the lifespan of one Manvantar. So this is just the beginning, and Swayambhuva Manu is actually the beginning. And you should also know that we are in the 51st year of Brahma, because Brahma lives for 100 years. So 50 years of Brahma's lifetime has already passed. We are currently in the first year of the 51st year, not just the first year, but the first month in the 51st year, and not just the first month, but the first day of Brahma. Okay. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So just imagine, because Varahadev appears in every Kalpa of Brahma, in each and every day of Brahma. And this Varahadev appears twice. And I will also share something very interesting, which is shared by His Grace Gopi Varandan Prabhu just after some time. So basically, you see that Bhagavatam emphasizes the pastimes and the lessons that we learn. It does not focus on the time sequence, exact time period, right? And there's also the example of how Brahma also became attracted to his daughter. So that pastime happens twice. So it is spoken in the story of the current cycle, and it also happened when Brahma was younger, before he became self-realized and hearing the song of Krishna's flute. So now you can just imagine Brahma is living for 155 trillion years. Okay. So that's why it is not something which is, I mean, this is something which is natural for a pure devotee of the Lord, who can see the past, present, and future, because they are able to perceive the past history of the incarnation of the Lord. They can see they have idea about the past appearances of the Lord, and they also see in the current time frame. So that's why they kind of mix it up. Okay, so now at this point, Brahmaji had produced a number of sons, and most of them were renowned sages. They were not interested in producing any progeny. After deliberating about the situation, Brahma produced a couple, Swayambhuva Manu and his wife Satarupa, who gladly accepted the mission of populating the universe. All human beings as well as inhabitants of other planets, they are descendants of Swayambhuva Manu, and that's why he's called the father of mankind also. So, however, Swayambhuva Manu had noticed that Bhumandal space of activity was submerged in the waters of Garbhodak ocean. As Brahma thought how to lift it up, Lord Varaha appeared from his nostrils in a very small form that quickly grew in size and put Bhumandal back into its place. So this is the form of the white Varahadev, the white incarnation of Varahadev. In this pastime, he just lifted the whole Bhumandal, and there was no fight with Hiranyaksha. Because of the appearance of Lord Varahadev in his white form, the reign of Swayambhu Manu is also called the Shvet Varaha Kalpa, Shvet Varaha Millennium. Shveta Varaha means white Varaha. And then Lord Varaha appeared for the second time during the reign of Chakshusha Manu, who is the sixth Manu in the sequence. Each Manu reigned for a total of 306,720 million years. So there is a gap of at least 1.533 billion years between the two appearances of Varahadev. Very astonishing. A lot of time gap. Srila Prabhupada in his purport to 13th chapter 16th verse mentions that Jiva Goswami has the topics delineated here of different millenniums. The present topics are of Shvetavara millennium, and topics regarding the Chakshu's millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. So Srila Prabhupada uses the word millennium in different sense. So millennium can also refer to a Manvantar period. It can also refer to Kalpa. It can also refer to Mahakalpa. So Manvantar is 71 Divya Yugas. Kalpa is 14 times 71 Divya Yugas, because there are 14 Manvantars. So all these 14 Manvantars, when they pass away, then it becomes one day of Brahma. So that is a Kalpa. And then we have Mahakalpa, which is basically the entire lifespan of Brahma, which is 100 years of Brahma. Okay, so in this particular context, Prabhupada uses the word millennium, indicating Manvantar period, not Kalpa. Okay, so because the Vara form appears in two different Manvantars. In one Kalpa, anyway, it is appearing two times, and it always appears in every Kalpa. Every Kalpa, Varahadev takes appearance two times. So that's why here millennium means Manvantar period. And then Vara appeared for the second time when Hiranyaksha caused the earth to fall into the Garbhodak ocean by excessively mining it for gold. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the planets are maintained in the orbits by delicate balance of forces that can be disturbed by the excessive mining of natural resources. That's definitely warning for the human beings of our time. So Lord Varahadev has also very special relationship with Earth, which is considered as his wife. Therefore, when the Earth fell into the Garbhodak ocean, the Lord appeared as Lord Varaha to save her, and in the process killed Hiranyaksha by slapping him with his lotus forefoot. Srila Varahadev is also one of the Leela avatars of the Lord, and that suggests that he appears on each day of Brahma, just as Krishna appears. Right? So now Varahadev, you can also see, is also present in the seven layers of the universe: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then you have the Mahatattva and the uh, layer of Mahatattva and the layer of mind, like that. So Varahadev is the presiding deity of the layer of earth, one of the material elements. This earth is basically Bhudevi, and Varahadev is actually the consort of Bhudevi. So in order to protect Bhudevi, Varahadev keeps appearing. Now I would also like to share something which Gopi Barandan Prabhu has shared. So this is shared in Brihad Bhagavatamrit, part 2, 4th chapter, and verse number 157. In this purport, very interesting, Gopi Barandan Prabhu has shared. So he says, so he says that there are at least five Lord Varahas. The first appeared from Brahma's nostril at the beginning of creation, lifted the earth, deposited her on the Garbha ocean, and then disappeared. The second saved the earth from a partial flood or devastation, killed Hiranyaksha, and went to Swargaloka. The third, the embodiment of Vedic sacrifice, taught the methods of sacrifice, lifted the earth, spoke to her, the Vara Puran, spoke to earth, Vara Puran, and disappeared by his mystic power. The fourth took the earth and made her even, by grinding down the excessively large mountains with his sharp tusks. The earth then assumed the form of his consort Varahi, enjoyed with him, and gave birth to two sons. That Lord Varaha finally disappeared by merging into the form of Lord Narsimha. And yet a fifth Varahadev perpetually holds up the earth from below. So these are the five different forms of Lord Varahadev. Now, another thing we have to also understand is that here the Earth planet or the Bhumandal, it does not refer to the Earth globe, which we are currently living in. It is basically the Bhumandal. So Bhumandal is a very huge tract of land. It's a circular disc basically. And that completely, I'm not sure, like if you remember, I think maybe we have done this cosmology class also, where you can consider the vertical structure of the universe, where we have all these interplanetary planets. Then we have the Swargaloka, Antariksh, and then we have the Swargaloka, then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, and down then we have the hellish planet, 28 hellish planets. So Bhumandal is the central portion of the vertical structure of the universe, and that Bhumandal actually submerged into the earth. So that's why you'll see sometimes Lord Vara is lifting the earth with his touch, but that earth is sometimes it is shown in spherical shape, and sometimes it is shown in a disc shape, a huge disc that Lord Vara carries on his tusk. So that we have to remember, because Bhumandala is the one which is above the Garbhodaka ocean, and then there is the Garbhodaka water, and then we have Garbhodak Shai Vishnu also in that, right? So that entire Bhumandala is actually submerged in the water like that. So this is some information about the appearances of Lord Varahadev. And now we will discuss the pastimes of the second form of the Lord, which is red in color. Okay, so we'll not go into much detail about the each and every thing that happened in the past. We know that how Jai Vijay, they were cursed by the four Kumaras, and then they took the form of the first demon form they took is that of Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu. And you should also remember one thing, that it's not that every kalpa, every day of Brahma, Jai and Vijay falls down. This happens only in one particular kalpa of Brahma, where Jay and Vijay, the associates of Lord, personally come in the form of demons. Rest of the kalpas, the demons Hiranyak, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarnan, and Shishupal Dandvakra, they are same demons, but these are jivas who take the role of these demons. Okay, so they are not Jay and Vijay. So Kashyapa named the firstborn, Kashyapa named the firstborn who was formerly Jai, Hiranyaksh, and the one who was conceived first, who was formerly Vijay, was named Hiranyakashipu. So soon after their birth, the demon.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you are not audible. Prabhuji got disconnected, I think.
Yes, I messaged Prabhuji, so let's wait for him.
Okay, Hare Krishna. How much did you all hear till now?
It was just 2 seconds before Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go back. Yeah, so after performing great austerities, Hiranyakashipu took benediction from Lord Brahma. He became very proud, and then he was also able to conquer the three worlds. And Hiranyaksha also received benediction from Brahmaji of almost being immortal. And then he also became very powerful and conceited. So to satisfy his elder brother, Hiranyaksha took his club and began to travel all over the universe with a fighting spirit, because no one was able to kill Hiranyaksh because of the benediction of Lord Brahma, and that's why the demigods, they fearfully hid upon seeing Hiranyaksh. When Hiranyakashipu, he saw Indralok, and he saw that everyone has vacated Indralok. No one was there because they all got fearful of him. So, understanding the demigods had admitted defeat without even fighting. So, after returning from heaven, Hiranyaksh sportingly dove into the ocean, and then upon seeing him, all of the great aquatics panicked and fled. So finally, after moving about in the ocean for many years, Hiranyaksha reached Vibhavari, which is Varuna's capital. And just to make fun of the Lord of the Waters, Hiranyaksha fell at the feet of Varunadev and begged from him, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." So, just to make fun of Varuna, he fell at the feet of Varuna, and then he very humorously said that, "I would like to seek a battle with you." So upon seeing the arrogance of Hiranyaksh, Varuna became enraged. But still somehow he curbed his anger by means of intelligence. And then he replied that, "Oh dear one, I have given up fighting because I am too old. You are so skilled in battle that I can see no one else but the ancient person, Lord Vishnu, can satisfy you. So, O chief of the Daityas, I suggest that you approach him and thus become rid of your pride by lying down dead upon the battlefield, surrounded by carnivorous animals." So Varunadev already forecasted that he is going to be dead after fighting with Lord Varahadev. So without paying any more attention to Varuna, Hiranyaksh departed. And then he happened to meet the great said Narad Muni. The demon learned about the whereabouts of the Supreme Lord. So then Varahadev actually started, Hiranyaksh, he wanted to fight with Varahadev, so he was searching for him. And like somehow Narad Muni came that time, and then he asked him the hiding place of Varahadev, and then he revealed to him. So then after once again entering the depths of the ocean, Hiranyaksh, he finally saw the Supreme all-powerful Lord in his boar incarnation, bearing the earth upwards while keeping her on the ends of his tusks. Upon seeing the Lord, the demon laughingly exclaimed, "An amphibious beast! O best of the demigods, dressed in the form of a boar, the earth belongs to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions, and so I cannot allow you to take it away from my presence. Rascal, today I shall enliven my kinsmen by killing you. When you fall down dead with your skull smashed by my mace, the demigods and rishis who offer you oblations and sacrifice will also cease to be, just like a tree that can no longer live without roots." So the Lord was certainly, he was pained to hear such abusive language, but somehow he tolerated it so that he could continue carrying the earth, which had become very frightened. So this is also a good point, that even the Lord has got emotions and feelings. The Lord is also personal. It's not that, although he is Atmaram, but he also is very much caring and loving, and he also reciprocates with his devotees, and that reciprocation is also done through emotions. So the Lord also feels pain and pleasure, and he also feels bad about certain things. He also feels good about certain things. Especially when he's praised, he's happy. When he's criticized, he's also pained by that. So as Lord Varaha rose out of the water, Hiranyaksh chased him and roared, "Are you not ashamed of yourself for running away after being challenged by an adversary? There is nothing that is reproachable for shameless creatures like you." So because Lord Varadev was actually, he was going and he was going to put down Mother Earth. So, but Hiranyaksh felt that he's running away from him. So that's why he criticized the Lord. So despite these harsh words, Lord Vara calmly placed the earth upon the surface of the water and then empowered her with the capacity to float. At this time, the Lord Brahma and other demigods praised the Lord for his wonderful act of lifting up the earth, and they showered flowers upon him. Then, to express his terrible anger, the Lord replied, "Indeed, we are creatures of the jungle and are searching for hunting dogs like you. One who is freed from the entanglement of death has no fear from the loose talk in which you are indulging, for you are bound up by the laws of death. Now give up your foolish talk and attempts to kill me. One may be very proud, but he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promise." Being thus challenged, Hiranyaksh became very angry, and then his whole body began to tremble. While hissing indignantly, the demon sprang upon the Lord and tried to strike him with his powerful mace. By moving aside, however, the Lord dodged the blow, and then with his own mace, he attempted to smash Hiranyaksh's forehead. Being an expert fighter, the demon blocked the blow with his own mace, however, and thereafter, a fierce encounter took place. As both combatants struck one another repeatedly with their strong clubs, the smell of blood that flowed from their wounds made them more and more furious. Being very eager for victory, both the Lord and the demon exhibited wonderful movements, wonderful maneuvers, so that the battle looked like a contest between two powerful bulls for the sake of a cow. Lord Brahma had been staying in the sky along with all of the demigods and celestial rishis, so that he could also witness the terrible fight that was being waged for the sake of earth. And being somewhat anxious, he addressed Lord Varahadev. "My dear Lord, Hiraksha has always oppressed the demigods, Brahmanas, cows, and other innocent creatures. There is no need for you to play with this serpentine demon any longer, for he is very skillful in utilizing mystic powers, and he is most arrogant and wicked. My dear infallible Lord, please kill him before the demoniac hour of twilight arrives and thus increases his strength. The auspicious period called Abhijit began at noon and has almost passed. Therefore, please dispose of your formidable enemy quickly and thus establish peace within this world." So Brahmaji is also praying to the Lord, and he knows that the Lord is playing with Hiranyaksh, but there are certain etiquettes that when the Lord appears in the material world, so he follows those etiquettes because he has created those etiquettes and dharmic principles. So that's why he respects that. And Brahma is reminding him that the time has come to kill him. Otherwise, the demoniac hours is going to start now. So the Lord also responds to his request. So the Lord responded by heartily laughing. At the same time, he accepted Brahma's prayers with a glance that was laden with love. Then, as Hiranyaksh fearlessly stood nearby, Lord Varaha suddenly sprang at him while aiming his mace at the demon's chin. Hiranyaksh blocked the blow with his own mace. However, and as a result, the Lord's club slipped from his hand. That blazing mace looked splendid while whirling around and around as it fell, and a great cry of alarm rose from the onlooking demigods and rishis. Still, even though he had an excellent opportunity to strike his unarmed foe, Hiranyaksh respected the etiquette for single combat by refraining from doing so. This instigated the Lord's fury even more. However, and he invoked his Sudarshan Chakra. At this wonderful disc revolved in the Lord's hand, while he was at close quarters with his enemy, the demigods and rishis exclaimed, "May victory be yours, may victory be yours. Dispatch him at once. Don't play with the demon any longer." Now, seeing Lord Varahadev before him with the Sudarshan Chakra in his hand, Hiranyaksh resentfully bit his lip and began to hiss like a serpent. Then that great demon with fearful tucks suddenly sprang into the air, wielding his club, and while doing so, he shouted, "You are slain." As Hiranyaksh tried to strike him, Lord Vara playfully kicked the mace from his hand with his left foot and then said, "Pick up your weapon since you are so eager to conquer me." Being so challenged, Hiranyaksh picked up his mace and then hurled it impetuously while roaring loudly. Without even flinching, however, Lord Vara easily caught the mace in his hand, and so the demon felt greatly humiliated. Being reluctant, to take back his weapon when the Lord offered it to him, Hiranyaksha instead picked up a flaming trident and violently hurled it. As the trident blazed brightly while soaring through the sky, Lord Varaha tore it to pieces by releasing his Sudarshan Chakra. At this, the demon became more enraged, and while letting out a loud roar, he rushed at Lord Varaha impetuously. After striking the Lord on the chest with his hard fist, Hiranyaksha immediately disappeared. The Lord was not disturbed in the least by the blow. However, any more than an elephant would feel hurt being struck by a flower garland. Thereafter, Hiranyaksh employed many conjuring tricks against the Lord, who is Yogeshwar, and who all saw the magical display thought at the dissolution of the universe was at hand. Fierce winds began blowing, and the dust that was raised created darkness in all directions. Torrents of stones started falling from the sky, along with showers of pus, hair, blood, stool, urine, bones, accompanied by lightning and thunder. Mountains discharged various weapons, and naked demonesses with their hair hanging loose suddenly appeared carrying tridents. Hosts of yakshas and rakshasas were heard uttering cruel and savage slogans as they marched on foot or rode upon the horses, elephants, and chariots. By releasing his Sudarshan Chakra, however, the Lord was able to dispel all of these illusions. And at that moment, a shudder of terror passed through Diti's heart. While recalling the words of her husband, blood began to flow from her breast. When Hiranyaksha saw that his magical creations has been dispelled, he once again made himself visible. In a fit of rage, he tried to crush the Lord within his arms as a last resort. But to his great surmise, after trying to grab the Lord, the demon found that he was still outside the circle of his arms. Then, as Hiranyaksha angrily struck with his fist, Lord Vara slapped him indifferently at the root of the ear, making him stagger backwards. With his eyeballs bulging out of their sockets, his hair scattered, and his limbs broken, the great demon fell down dead like an uprooted tree. Varahadev Bhagwan ki jai. Lord Brahma and other demigods quickly arrived at the spot to see the slain body of the demon close up, still biting his lip. Hiranyaksh's body luster had not faded in spite of the absence of the soul, because the Lord's lotus foot remained touching it. Lord Brahma admiringly said, "Oh, who could meet with such a blessed death?" This fortunate demon was struck by the lotus foot of the Lord, upon whom yogis meditate in mystic trance in the hopes of gaining liberation from their unreal material bodies. Thereafter, the demigods expressed their great appreciation for the Lord's having assumed his Varaha form and relieving them of their agonizing fear of the demon. After receiving the demigod's praises, the Lord returned to his own abode in the spiritual world, where there is always an uninterrupted festival going on. So Sukdev Goswami concludes this narration by saying, "O Brahmanas, anyone who hears chants takes pleasure in the wonderful description of Lord Varaha's killing of Hiranyaksh is at once relieved from the results of all kinds of sinful activities, including the killing of a Brahmana." So with this, we conclude the class. And if there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, always Sri Prabhupada. It was such a nice class, narrating the pastimes of Lord in the Varaha form to relieve the earth from the demon Hiranyaksha. Thank you for your kind and purifying association. And I just one question is that it was Lord Varahadev who said that I believe that I wanted to ask you who said that if the devotee chants my name at the time of his death, I will come to his remembrance.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhamma Pranam. I think that is probably that quotation is there from the Varaha Puran, maybe, or yeah, Varaha Puran, I think so. So it is possible. Maybe Lord Varaha must have spoken this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I think this much detail is only given of Lord Varahadev from the Srimad Bhagavatam and some other scripture also probably. Not much detail about the fighting between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varahadev. Apart from that, I have already shared the different appearances of Lord Varahadev. So yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class, Prabhuji, about Lord Varahadev and Bhumi Devi. So thank you, you explained very nicely. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so if there are no questions or comments, then we can conclude the class. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dhamma Pranam to all.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
So Hare Krishna, let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Panchakalpatarvescha Krupa Sindhu Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समाचार्य श्री दास ठाकुर की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रेस प्रेम रस प्रभु जी की जय. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.